It's been stated multiple times in Harry Potter that Voldemort was the most dangerous dark wizard of all time. However, through watching the Fantastic Beasts series, I've grown to disagree with this statement. I'm not saying that Grindelwald or Voldemort is the more powerful wizard. It's an interesting debate, however, that's not what this video is about. In this video, I'll be discussing why I believe Grindelwald was the more dangerous dark wizard in terms of his ability to take over the wizarding world. Grindelwald's key skill that he has over Voldemort is his mastery of manipulation. Both Grindelwald and Tom Riddle were master manipulators. However, as Riddle dove deeper into his persona of Lord Voldemort, he left the tactics of manipulation and deceit behind and acted solely with hate. Grindelwald was a master at crafting his evil intentions into a message that the general public could get behind, while Voldemort had no qualms about letting everyone know that he was a cold-blooded killer. Voldemort could gain traction in his quest for power because of his magical abilities. However, the majority of the wizarding world would never get behind his obviously evil message, and forces of love would stop him every time. Grindelwald, on the other hand, understood that in order to shape the world to his vision, he must understand and pander to the desires of those he wished to rule. Once he knew what a person or a group of people wanted most, he was easily able to twist those desires and make someone follow his path when they thought they were following their own. He followed a simple pattern of manipulation that worked in persuading the masses and individuals. Here's how his pattern worked. He would figure out what a person desired and how that desire was being oppressed by the current establishment. Then he would tell people that his mission was to fulfill their dreams, not his own selfish aspirations. And finally, he would feed people's anger and exploit their fear by saying if they continued to follow the current powers that be, they were doomed. These tactics were displayed beautifully when he manipulated Credence, Queenie, and the entire crowd during his speech at the end of Crimes of Grindelwald. Queenie's manipulation is my favorite, because within 1 minute of meeting Grindelwald, she goes from being one of the main characters opposing him to a follower. Grindelwald did this by understanding that Queenie's deepest desire was to be allowed to love a muggle. However, the government does not allow witches to marry muggles. So, Grindelwald says to her, "I only wish to help you and build a world where we wizards can live openly and love freely." Here we see Grindelwald telling Queenie exactly what she wants to hear. She wants to be able to love and marry whoever she wants. The reason Grindelwald's words are so brilliant is because Queenie doesn't think Grindelwald knows anything about her. So instead of getting personal and saying, "Hey, if you follow me, you'll be able to marry Jacob," Grindelwald makes it seem like he doesn't want anything from Queenie and is simply telling her his dreams and goals. This throws Queenie off because she's like, "Damn, I don't know this guy, but it just seems like he wants exactly what I want, so why wouldn't I follow him?" This also displays that Grindelwald understands love, which is another reason he is more dangerous than Voldemort. Grindelwald knows love is the most powerful force on Earth and makes it his most trusted ally while manipulating we fools who love. Voldemort simply killed anyone who opposed him. However, Grindelwald knew that the more people who were on his side, the more powerful he would become. So instead of just killing his opposition, he mastered the ability of persuading them that his goals are aimed at bringing their desires to life. The case of Credence's manipulation is twofolded. There is Grindelwald's manipulation before and after he finds out Credence is an Obscurial. Before Grindelwald discovers Credence's true power, he is simply using Credence as a vehicle to find out who the true Obscurial is. Grindelwald figures out that Credence's deepest desire is to join the wizarding world. So he says to Credence, "You want to join the wizarding world. I want those things too, Credence. I want them for you. So find the child. Find the child, and we will all be free." Once again, Grindelwald uses manipulation to gain a person's trust by telling them that if they follow his lead, all of their desires will come true. And of course, fulfilling their dreams is what Grindelwald truly wants. The ability for Grindelwald to see other people as assets he can utilize on his journey to power is another reason he is more dangerous than Voldemort. Voldemort only worked alone and didn't want anyone's help. This was a huge flaw for Voldemort, especially when it came to killing Harry Potter. Voldemort's selfish pride led him to forbid anyone from killing Harry. If Voldemort wasn't so hell-bent on doing everything himself, his Death Eaters could have killed Harry at least 80 different times throughout the Harry Potter series. Grindelwald sees the value in having other people help him on his path to glory, and it led to the unexpected benefit of having Credence be on his side when it's revealed that he's an Obscurial. Once Grindelwald finds out what Credence truly is, he makes him his main weapon in his effort to kill Dumbledore. And finally, the scene that best displays how truly dangerous Grindelwald was is the rally at the end of Crimes of Grindelwald. This scene exhibits Grindelwald's ability to control the masses and manipulate large amounts of people into joining his cause. Voldemort was unapologetic about the fact that he was out to kill Muggles and Mudbloods. This overtly evil strategy allowed him to gain traction in his quest for power. However, in the long run, that type of undisguised evil will be put to a stop every time. Grindelwald, on the other hand, is able to gloss over his evil intentions for Muggle genocide by saying that he had dreams of freedom, truth, and love. We see this in the beginnings of Crimes of Grindelwald when one of his followers talks about beating the Muggles, and Grindelwald responds by saying, "We don't say such things out loud." Grindelwald knew the importance of making the public believe that he was simply fighting for the freedom of wizards, because that's a motto that almost all wizard kind can get behind. If he publicly announced that his goals were to kill 80% of Muggles so wizards can rule the world, not many people would join his cause. In the speech he gives at the rally, we see his familiar pattern of manipulation. He begins his speech by saying that the crowd's applause is not for himself. Instead, it's for them. This makes the crowd feel more involved and loyal to his cause, because even though Grindelwald is pulling all the strings, the crowd now feels like they are just as important to the movement as Grindelwald. He then plays on the crowd's anger and fear by showing the war and destruction that will be caused if they don't rise up against the Muggles. It truly goes to show just how persuasive Grindelwald is, because while he's showing the crowd all the destruction of future Muggle conflicts, even Jacob, who is a Muggle, says, "Not another war." However, Grindelwald conveniently forgets to show them all the war and devastation that will occur if his revolution truly does come to pass. I mean, not even 10 minutes after this speech, he turns into a fiery blue dragon with the intention of burning all of Paris to the ground. But this, once again, is the difference between Voldemort and Grindelwald. Grindelwald convinces his followers that he is the peacemaker who is seeking freedom, truth, and love, while his enemies are the hateful suppressors. For example, he knew that the Aurors would come to the rally, and he allowed them to walk into the midst of his followers because he knew a conflict would break out. Once one of the Aurors kills a Grindelwald follower, he tells the rest to disapparate and spread the word that he is not the violent one. And then, of course, when he is out of the public eye, he shows his true colors and tries to destroy one of the most culturally significant cities in the world without any provocation. Grindelwald and Voldemort were two of the most powerful dark wizards of all time. Who was more powerfully magical? That debate is for another time. I just wanted to go over why I believe Grindelwald was more dangerous in terms of his ability to take over the wizarding world. Voldemort's outright hate and violence was known by everyone and accepted by only a very small minority of people. His ignorance of the power of love would lead him to be stopped on his quest for power every time. Grindelwald, on the other hand, was well versed in the magic of love and how to utilize it when manipulating people. His ability to hide his evil intentions under the guise of wanting freedom for wizards is extremely impressive and scary. Whether it was one person or 10,000 people. His ability to find a person's deepest desire, figure out how that desire is being oppressed, then twist their desires to make them follow his path, and finally feed fear of the opposition was a dangerous tool that would have been unstoppable if he hadn't lost that duel to Dumbledore. Grindelwald uses the same tactics that a lot of evil politicians in our past and present have used. From the outside world, it looks like they're fighting for our freedom. But behind the scenes, they're performing evil acts that we don't hear about for years to come. So everyone, that's my video for the day, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate if you hit the like and subscribe buttons. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.